So let us dance this night away.
Hello and welcome to a new video. I hope everybody is doing well. So today's video is my March TBR. I've got a lot of books on this TBR, but I know that I am not going to finish them because, yeah, there are just too many, as you can probably see from the thumbnail. I do have another theme for March. February's theme was Chinese New Year, and March's theme is ancient Greece. And the reason why it's ancient Greece is because me and my hubby are going to Athens this month, and it is the first time we've ever been, so we're super excited. And I thought, well, what way to kind of get into the spirit of things and brush up on some ancient Greek lore, history, by reading some books, because I do have quite a few. So let's get into it. The first book we have is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I have the set, which I won't be reading the whole set, and that's why I'm not showing you the whole set. I just think reading the first one is probably, hopefully I can get to read it, a good idea. I've seen the movie and I think I liked it. I can't remember, it was so long ago, and Disney Plus are actually doing a TV series as well, so that should be interesting to watch. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this series as well, and I thought, why not try and read this one. Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood. I never asked to be the son of a Greek god. I was just a normal kid, going to school, playing basketball, skateboarding, the usual, until I accidentally vaporized my maths teacher. Now I spend my time battling monsters and generally trying to stay alive. This is the one where Zeus, god of the sky, thinks I've stolen his lightning bolt, and making Zeus angry is a very bad idea. So that should be a good read, hopefully. And then the next book on my list is Daughters of Sparta. This is about the princesses of Sparta. So, for millennia, men have claimed these women's tales, but now it's time to hear their side of the story. Just a quick word of warning, I may butcher some of the names, so I apologise for that, but yeah. As princesses of Sparta, Clytemnestra and Helen have known nothing but luxury and plenty. With their high birth and unrivaled beauty, they are the envy of all of Greece. Such privileges come at a high price though, and their destinies are not theirs to command. While still only girls, they are separated and married off to legendary kings Agamemnon and Menelaus, never to meet again. Their duty is now to give birth to heirs society demands, and be the meek, submissive queens their men expect. But when the weight of their husbands' neglect, cruelty and ambition become too heavy to bear, they must push against the constraints of their sex to carve new lives for themselves, and in doing so make waves that will ripple throughout the next 3,000 years. So, excited to read that one. I'm excited to read them all. And then the next one is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This one, I think it's similar to Daughters of Sparta. So when the Greek Queen Helen is kidnapped by Trojans, the Greeks sail in pursuit, besieging the city of Troy. Trapped in the Greek soldiers' camp is another captured queen, Briseis, condemned to be a bed slave to Achilles, the man who butchered her family. She becomes a pawn in a menacing game between bored and frustrated warriors. In the centuries after this most famous war, history will write her off, a footnote in a bloody story scripted by vengeful men. But Briseis has a very different tale to tell. Next up is Electra by Jennifer Saint. Behind all gods and heroes there are great women. The house of Atreus is cursed, a bloodline tainted by a cycle of violence. This is a story of three women, their fates doomed by the fickle nature of men and gods. You've got Clytemnestra. When her sister Helen runs away with the Trojan prince, her husband Agamemnon raises an army against Troy and determines to win whatever the cost. I thought she was married to Menelaus. Okay. Cassandra, princess of Troy and cursed to see the future but never to be believed. She is powerless in her knowledge that the city will fall. And Electra, the youngest daughter of Clytemnestra, and Agamemnon. Electra is horrified by the bloodletting of her kin, but can she escape the curse, or is her own destiny also bound by violence? So 3 very similar books. Did not know that. Next up is, I think there are different ways to pronounce this, but I kind of say Circe. I don't know what the other way is, I can't remember, but I do love this version because it's all shimmery. But yeah, Circe by Madeline Miller. In the house of Helios, god of the sun and the mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. Circe is strange, not powerful and terrible like her father, nor gorgeous and mercenary like her mother, but she has a dark power of her own, witchcraft. When Circe's gift threatens the gods, she is banished to the island of Aiaia, where she hones her occult craft, casting spells, gathering strange herbs, and taming wild beasts. Yet a woman who stands alone cannot live in peace for long, and among her island's guests is an unexpected visitor, the immortal Odysseus, for whom Circe will risk everything. Circe's tale is a vivid epic of family rivalry, love and loss, the inextinguishable song of woman burning hot and bright in the darkness of a man's world. So I've heard good things about that one as well. Then the next one is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. Again, I've heard so many good things about this series, so I'm very excited to read it. It's a Hades and Persephone tale. So Persephone is the goddess of spring in title only. Since she was a little girl, flowers have only shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hoped to lead an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist. All that changes when she sits down in a forbidden nightclub. All that changes when she sits down in a forbidden nightclub to play a hand of cards with a hypnotic and mysterious stranger. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favourite bets are rumoured to be impossible. But nothing has ever intrigued him as much as the goddess offering him a bargain he can't resist. Sorry if you can hear noise in the background. That is the hubby returning from shopping. After her encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in a contract with the god of the dead, and his terms are impossible. Persephone must create life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. The bet does more than expose Persephone's failure as a goddess, however. As she struggles to sow the seeds of her freedom, love for the god of the dead grows, a love that is both captivating and forbidden. So I'm excited to read that one. The next is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Again, I've heard great things about these. Apparently it's supposed to wreck you. So we shall see. But I got I think it's the 10th anniversary edition of this book, and it's just so beautiful. And like the inside as well. And it's got its own little bookmark in there. But let's see, do we have, I don't think there's a description for this. Wow, there are a lot of blank pages here. The Song of Achilles. Okay, so Greece is the age of heroes. Patroclus, an awkward young prince, has been exiled to the court of King Peleus and his perfect son Achilles. Despite their differences, Achilles befriends the shamed prince, and as they grow into young men skilled in the arts of war and medicine, their bond blossoms into something deeper. Despite the displeasure of Achilles' mother, Thetis, a cruel sea goddess, but when word comes that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, Achilles must go to war in distant Troy and fulfill his destiny. Torn between love and fear for his friend, Patroclus goes with him, little knowing that the years that follow will test everything they hold dear. So yeah, another good read there. Then the last kind of novel as such is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, and it's Medusa's story. So we're kind of slightly veering off. Troy and Helen. But this one says, Medusa is the sole mortal in a family of gods. Growing up with her Gorgon sisters, she begins to realize that she is the only one who experiences change, the only one who can be hurt, and her mortal lifespan gives her an urgency that her family will never know. When the sea god Poseidon commits an unforgivable act in the temple of Athene, the goddess takes her revenge where she can, and Medusa is changed forever. Writhing snakes replace her hair, and her gaze now turns any living creature to stone. The power cannot be controlled. Medusa can look at nothing without destroying it. She's condemned to a life of shadows and darkness, until Perseus embarks upon a quest to fetch the head of a Gorgon. So, as with all Greek tales, they are all tragedy, so I have a feeling that this one's going to be quite a sad tale, but it'll be interesting to learn more of Medusa's tale. So yeah. Then the last two books that I have on the list, they're actually quick ones, so I should be able to read these, and they are Lore Olympus volume 2 and 3, and I love Lore Olympus. I read this last year, volume 1, and I love the artwork in this. Like, it's so cool. So again, whoops, this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and it's set in not the modern world, but it's more of like a modern retelling of it. And yeah, I'm just very keen to know what goes on, because it's such a quick read as well, being that it's a graphic novel, and it's quite funny as well, and quite deep, and obviously deals with like everyday kind of issues and other issues as well that are quite dramatic and a little bit traumatizing at times. But yeah, those are the last two on the list. Those are all the books that I plan to try and read in March. I know that I'm not going to read them all, but hopefully, yeah, I do get a good majority read, because I do like ancient Greek history. It's one of the times in history that I've wanted to learn about properly, like do a course on and such. But what do you guys think of the book choices for this month? Have you read any of them? Let me know what you think below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.